Oh,
Motivation, motivation.
You know what football means to me? It means me spending time with my husband.
Football's just been in my family for generations.
It's Friday Night Lights.
Game of life.
Football. Football has always meant teamwork to me. It provides young men with the opportunity to learn teamwork, discipline, and character needed in life.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another segment of Can We Talk Sports? I'm Shannon Mason.
I'm Karen Reese.
Kawashika Haynes.
And we'd like to give a shout out to Katrina, which she's not able to make it, and Irisha, our other host, and Big Mama will be coming on later. But listen, if you guys can see right there, there's a helmet on her head. Let me tell you, we got a lot to talk about today. It is going to be a great show. We got a guest coming on, Miss Fran Harris. I'm telling you, but listen, we're representing today. So we got Raiders in the building. Miss Karen's representing for the Raiders. I got my Texas Rangers on. You know, I'm representing for baseball. Kawasaka's son is in Colorado. What school is he at?
Go see you.
COCU. I'm telling you. Katrina's son, Alabama. Irisha's son, DeSoto U. Come on, is DeSoto in the building?
Yeah.
So, hey, look, we are all here representing for our sons. Our friends, family, and this is going to be a good show. I'm telling you, we getting ready to get into it. So listen, Karen, tell me a little bit about how your weekend went. Because see, you know, Karen, you know, she always over DeSoto broadcasting. She's at a game, you know what I'm saying? She don't miss a game. Basketball. I mean, this is DeSoto's. We calling for her to be the mayor, the president, something.
Right.
She always representing for DeSoto. So
for DeSoto.
First of all, I don't see how these kids have this helmet on their head. Man, my head feels like it's being squished. It feels like it's about 50 pounds heavier. Oh my God, let me take this off. Oh my
wow.
goodness.
I know, right?
Wow.
Look, hey, I tried to put my son on because my son went, you know, OU in the building, Heisman's in the building. So listen, I tried to put my son's helmet on. I was like, this about to get stuck. Let me not put this helmet. And it's heavy.
Yes.
Those helmets are heavy.
It is.
It's like, man, you be moving this, you be carrying this around on your head. Not me, I'm telling you. So anyway, Kawasaka, how was your weekend going?
Oh, it was blessed. Do you hear me dance? Right now, I'm in the dance mom mood.
Oh,
so
Lord.
I have a dancing star. And so practice. Oh my God. So it don't stop. It ain't just football. It don't stop. Football, dance, cheer.
Keep it going. So listen, y'all, Kawasaka be on Facebook. Her son is in Colorado, right? So you watch her page, and I mean, she running all up and down, she yelling, she getting all the crowd involved. I said, these mamas is going radical, right? Like, then you got Katrina, she yelling Alabama. I'm like, Lord have mercy. Listen, I was a cool mom, you know, I just sat in the stands and I cheered. No, let me stop lying. I was screaming, hit him, knock him out, take his helmet off. You know, I'm sorry. Had a flashback moment at OU. So, you know, but it's all good. It's all good. So, hey, listen, we want to talk a little bit about bench warmers. So let me tell you a little quick short story. about a bench warmer, right? So my
Yeah.
daughter, I know she probably listening, but I'm gonna tell on her. So anyway, my daughter goes out of town because she plays AAU basketball, and so at the time she was in 8th grade, getting ready to go to high school. And in 7th grade, she made the varsity team. Varsity coach was at one of her games, said you're automatically on varsity. So anyway, so this 8th grade year, she goes out of town with a friend to El Paso. And so she was kind of having a little moment. And so she calls me up. Now she calls me up right before her game, like the week before that Saturday, right? So she was out of town Monday. So she calls me up and she says, Mom, I need a break. I think I'm gonna stay an extra week. So I said, oh, really? Now you have a game with your AAU on Saturday, and you decide to call me on Monday and say you just need an extra week. You'll be back the following Monday. So I said, okay. I said, you know what? Go ahead and take your break. So this is what we gonna do. I said, you're gonna call your AAU coach and you're gonna tell him you need a break, right? During the time that they need you. Then you're gonna call then we're gonna call the varsity coach, and I'm gonna demote you back to freshman. Then you're not gonna play varsity because that means you can't handle it. Listen, I sat her on the bench. Okay, because see,
Wow.
I was like, you're not going to do that. Your character. I said, how dare you? I said, these coaches get up, they come, you know what I'm saying? They're there with you guys. They leave their families, and you gonna need a break. I said, my wallet need a break, but you don't see me taking a break, right? You gonna tell me you need a vacation? Me and my husband was like, our wallet need a vacation. What is you talking about? Listen, why was that joker back on Friday? She didn't want to be benched. So listen, she had to. This is the sad thing. The family had to drive her 9 hours back home, right? And turn around and drive back because they were going to stay an extra 2 weeks down there, and she was going to stay. I said, go ahead, because I'm gonna bench you on AAU and I'm gonna bench you on varsity. Matter of fact, I'm gonna demote you down to freshman. So
Wow.
yeah, I made that. I made a ref call, a coach call, a mama call, a daddy call.
Right. Now, see, I've
Them
heard
mama don't play.
of coaches benching their kids, but I ain't heard of mamas benching their kids.
What? I will bench you in a minute. I tell the coach I'm benching you.
I don't know about that. I don't know what the coach gonna do with that.
You know what? It because people say bench, sitting on the bench is a bad thing, right? But in reality, it's not, because on that bench you have time to think. Why are you there? And that's my thing. Like my oldest son, he got benched one time in 7th grade. And I tell you what, he never got benched again. When he had to sit there because it was a certain grade, he didn't make when you check your grades. Well, when he's sitting there watching everybody up and down the field, he was like, I'll never be benched again. I'm telling you, that joker kept him grades up and he never got benched again. So it did something to him. And then
Yeah.
I use it as, you're not ready. Sit on the bench, you know? And so even my daughter gets in 9th grade, she plays ball, and it was just, she didn't click right away with the varsity. It was new, it was different. So the coach sat her on the bench. So I called the coach, and I guess she thought I was going to go off, and I said, thank you for benching her.
Mm.
And she was like, wait, what? And I said, because when she's ready to get off that bench, she will do what she has to do to get off that bench. She will learn her plays and she will man up. I said, but until then, let her sit on the bench. She has, I tell all my kids, if you're on the bench, it's because you put yourself there.
Wow. That's deep. I was reading an article and it was talking about the benefits of bench warming. And I was just like, that's pretty interesting. And so one of the things it said, it was saying that it was an eye opener. It creates this humility with our kids. The
Yeah.
fact that, I'm not getting a chance to play. So I need to do whatever I need to do in order to be able to get back in the game. And I know that's kind of hard, for a coach when you having, 90 kids on the
Right.
team or 50 kids on the team. Everybody can't play, you know.
Right.
So I know bench warming is probably something that a lot of kids see, but it can be used as a positive thing
Yep.
to motivate those. It can cause competition, continue to compete to
Yeah.
get that spot in order to play, you know. It it could do a lot of things. And so I think that's why it was important for us to, kind of dig into that,
Right.
you know, bench warming and playing time, what is that all about? Us as mama, we always on the coach. Why my baby not playing? Why my kid not playing? So
Sometimes you got to ask your kid why they not playing, because you don't know what goes on in practice. You don't know if they're supposed to be given 100, but they give 50, you don't know if, and then you don't get it wrong. You probably do have some coaches who have their favoritism. I mean, it happens. It's life. But even in that situation, instead of getting mad at the coach, what I did is, even with my son, older son, I kind of take all my kids because it's 5 athletes. So I take them all through this process. So even with him sitting on the bench, it's like, listen, cheer your team on. While you're on the bench, study everybody else's plays. You know what I'm saying? Help them out. Be a team leader on the bench, and don't just sit there and pout, but let the coaches see, hey, I'm still a team. I'm still a part of the team, whether I'm on the bench or not. I'm still going to act like, or I'm still going to be a part of the team. And so I always encourage them, cheer your teammates on, go up and down the road. Don't just sit on the bench and look like you lost everything you had, but but get up, cheer them on. And you may see a play that the other receiver didn't see and say, hey, I noticed, when he lines up with you, he does this, and beat him at this point. And then tell the coach, help the coach, hey, I noticed on defense, so-and-so is doing this. And so don't just sit on the team. I mean, don't just sit on the bench, still be a part of the team. But, you have some parents who lose it and call the coaches and cuss them out and threaten to take their kids to another school because their kid is on the bench.
Yeah.
But you got to ask, why is my kid on, you got to ask yourself, really, why are you on the bench?
Right.
right. And then
It's not a bad thing. It's
yeah,
really not a
No,
bad
it's
thing.
not.
It builds character. I
Strong
truly believe
character.
that. Yes, it builds your character. It motivates you. You learn how to be a leader off the field.
Yeah.
Well, on the sidelines or on the bench. So when it's your time, you'll know exactly what to do. So it's not a bad thing all the time,
Mm.
And I was reading an article as well, and the article was talking about, should all the kids be able to play? And I believe, like, when they first start out, like elementary,
Yeah.
everybody can play. Everybody, because it helps them with their self-esteem and things to that such. But when you get up in high school, there are seniors before you. So you just can't skip over them. You have to wait your time.
That's
Your
right.
time is coming. And so, so it's not a bad thing at all. Parents, we have to realize that, your kid on the bench doesn't mean that they would never get to play. I experienced that, honestly, to be honest with you. I have. It's and see, I'm a different parent too. Like, I'm not looking to see the bad. Okay, it's your turn. It's gonna be his turn. Okay, my son in college and freshman. Well, they got seniors. They had seniors. He can't just go before them. So his time is coming. So it's not a bad thing. Build the character. I promise you, character will get you a long way. A
Right.
long way. I promise you that.
It will. I can contest to that. Jordan at OU won 2 honor awards for his character.
Right.
He received the Prentice Scout Award and he received the Don Key Award. So he
Wow.
understood being a team player, whether he played or he didn't. But even on that, it's like sometimes even sitting on the bench is more of, are you taking it serious? So it's like my kids, I
Hmm.
tell them, I'm like, you have to understand, you're not the only one around this world trying to get to a college, right? You're not the only one trying to get to the pros. So if your workout is this, what's going on Twitter, then if you on the bench, that's because your workout was this. But if your workout is grinding,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying, you out running, you out working out, you're doing what you're doing, then there's no reason that you're on the
Mhm.
bench, right?
Right.
Because even though you can have a senior that's there, but if you're grinding, I have seen them pull seniors up, I mean freshmen up over seniors. And it's because of their work ethics. But if you, again, if your work
Mhm.
ethics is your fingers and you on Instagram and Twitter and
Right.
social media, then if you're on the bench, it's you gotta kind of put the mirror in front of you and go, I am the reason why I'm on this bench. You know what I'm saying? And parents, listen, stop yelling at the coaches. Stop making it seem like they got favoritism and your son or your daughter need to play because they, come on. Like, really sit down and have a conversation with your child and say,
Right.
what's going on? Well, if there is favoritism, don't go up to the school trying to cuss the coach out and get the principal and everybody
Mhm.
involved.
Right.
Teach your child how to overcome that situation. Teach them how
Yeah.
to deal with adversities, because that's all it is. We go through it every
Mhm.
day. It's not, you know what I'm saying? Bench warming can go a long ways, right?
Yeah.
Bench warming
Mhm.
could be on your job.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Come
yes,
on,
you
right?
can.
You up here like, listen, I'm putting it. If you're having to sit on the bench and somebody else get a promotion, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's not just sports, but if you don't teach your child how to face adversities, then when they get a job, they'll struggle
Yeah.
because they
Yeah.
never, they never learned how to face that thing and still be a team player. So if you think you're gonna get a promotion and someone else comes in and get the promotion over you, and you never knew how to face adversity when you used to play sports, then you're gonna be salty. And you're gonna be cussing everybody out, want to quit the job, talking about I ain't going back. I mean, you be tripping.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
mean, experienced it with my son, and he was a junior, and he actually played football and baseball, and so at that point he had to choose which sport he was going to play, and so he continued to play baseball, and so when he came over to football he had to compete, and so
yeah,
because he wasn't there in off season, someone beat him out, and so he had to be on the bench, and so us as parents we still have to support them
yeah,
even when they're not playing. We still
that's all
have to
right.
go to the game. And sometimes that's a struggle for us to go to a game and our son, we only want to come to the game when we see our son playing.
Right.
But if we want them to be in a team sport, we have to be team parents.
That's
And so
right.
we have to support them no matter if our kid is playing or not. We have to support the whole team effort. And so it helped us as parents. Hey, bench warmers. We were parents that were on the bench too.
That's right.
While
Listen,
we were waiting for our kids.
y'all know them parents be up there. Them parents be up there yelling, talking about, especially if that team is losing, right? And their son or daughter didn't play. We would have won if you had put so and so in. Are you serious? Like your
Right.
child was really going to, what I'm saying, just be He-Man or She-Ra and take over the whole team. It is so funny when you hear them yell at when their kid is on the bench. If you had put a man, we'd have won. Like, come on.
Right.
It's
Right.
it's kind of like, let's it takes a whole team effort. One person can't carry a team, right?
Yeah.
Let's say your son could, did his job. It takes everybody else to do their job too. So you may not have won if your son or daughter would have been playing. You really don't know that. You really can't say that because it takes a whole team. You know what I'm saying? As my mom would say, it takes a village to raise a child. So it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'd be laughing. I'd be cracking up. I don't, when mine sit on the bench, I just say, okay, I just be sitting there watching everybody else go up and down the court or on the football field. I just be like,
Yeah.
you know, you, why are you on the bench? Even my twins, I go to the game and he's sitting on the bench. I said, why didn't you start? I don't know. I said, yes, you do. I said, because you didn't do your job. You shouldn't be on the bench, but that's your choice. It's not the coach's. That's yours. You didn't show up. Show up, and I guarantee you won't sit on the bench. So,
Wow. Wow.
that's my spill on bench warmers. Is it's not a big deal. It's life, like Kawasaka said. It's life lessons.
Yeah.
It's teaching you. So, all right. So listen again, parents. Be realistic if your child is on the bench. Talk to your child. Ask questions. Don't teach your child to go cuss out the coach, get mad, get an attitude. My mama said, just listen. Sit down and have a conversation with them. If they're on the bench, find out why from them, not the coach. And then at the same time, some of y'all know why your kid is on the bench. It 1 + 1 is 2. You know yourself why they're on the bench, So like Miss Karen said, support them, back them up. It's life lessons. So, all right, now listen, we got a guest. I'm super excited about this guest. Her name is Miss Fran. Powerful, impacting, making a difference, in the sports arena. Miss Karen had the opportunity to introduce us to her. And so her name is, let me get all her bio up, everyone. Her name is Fran Harris. She lives here in Dallas, Texas. Is an American television personality, sportscaster, and former professional and college basketball player who has won championships in high school and in college. I mean, this lady the list goes on and on. ESPN, HGTV, NCAA. I mean, she's repping shop. Listen, I'm excited to bring her on, and let's bring her to the front. Okay, look, y'all, I said to the front. Lord, help me out. But let's bring her to the show. Everybody give her a hand for Miss Fran. Is she there? Hey, Miss Fran, how are you?
Hello, how are we? How are y'all?
Oh my God. Listen, I need to come sit and take notes from you. I'm reading your bio like, wait a minute, NCAA and HTV. Okay, listen, I'm an HGTV fan. I could watch. I let the TV be on. I'll be sleeping with it. I'm telling you, 24 hours. I'll be taking notes. I go house looking just to see what Okay, we won't get on HTV. We're gonna stick to sports. But anyway, so Miss Fran, tell us a little bit about you, what you got going on, and.
Wow. Well, first, I put on for Dallas. Attended South Oak Cliff. Shout out to South Oak Cliff in Oak Cliff, Texas. So that's where I grew up, and just had a great childhood, great career in Dallas, and loving what you guys are doing. I have to laugh about this because my nephew is a freshman for Oklahoma State, and so he was playing today, and I was nervous as hell because he was out there with the starters. He's a freshman, right? He's 18 or 19. He's out there with the starters at the end when it mattered. And he had been out there, and the coach really trusts him. So, but I'm sitting here looking at my iPad. I'm like, Lord, don't mess up, because that's what we do. We're in the stands. We want them to do well.
Right.
Lord, just don't let them mess up too bad. And this is an athlete saying that. So I was laughing when y'all were talking about what parents do in the stands, because I have had my share and heard my share of parents just talking crazy.
Yeah.
And so I love this conversation. But yeah, I grew up in Dallas and then attended the University of Texas. I heard you said you have a son at OU. We won't hold that against you right now.
I saw your Longhorn hat. I was a little salty. I was like, oh, we gotta bring a Longhorn on, but it's all good. It's love.
Exactly. Friendly rivalries. We like cousins.
Yeah.
Played at Texas and then left there and played overseas in Switzerland and Italy, and played the WNBA on a championship team. And then went into broadcasting, started my own company. I know we're going to talk a little bit about that, but these days I'm trying to help colleges help athletes transition from active careers to professional careers. And that's whether they're sports, in the sports arena, or whether they are going to start their own companies or work in other companies.
I think that's pretty awesome, because we were talking about it, that the NCAA is now passing a law where athletes can brand themselves, but it won't start to 2021. Now, you got them all excited thinking it's about to start now. You got to put another year on it. So, but actually, I think that's good, because so many athletes coming from high school to college was getting in trouble, right? Mm-hmm. Because they were taking money and they were just trying to survive, especially ones that were in a low income situation. And so colleges, you had a lot of colleges giving these kids money, but now they're able to brand their own self. And so this is actually, I think this is a great opportunity. I think this is a great move that they're doing.
Yeah, I like it. I want my reparations. I
know, huh?
I want championships. I was one of those. My mom passed the year before I went to college, and so it was like I was waiting on that financial aid check every semester, because it was a struggle. But yeah, I love the fact that you've been, generating all this revenue off the backs of athletes, and now they get to share in some of that revenue generation. I love it.
Yeah, it's good. I think that it's now that we're doing that, now it's time to also start teaching on finances, right? Because it's time to prepare them, because I think doing this, you're actually preparing them when time to come to, for those that are going to be professional players, right? So if you're branding, which is what you do, right, is you're helping them brand their name and stuff. So tell us a little bit about how all that came about, and just kind of how.
Yeah. So when I was in college, I was one of the, I played at Texas, and I was one of those athletes that when the news stations came by, they always wanted to talk to me because, as you could probably tell, I wasn't afraid to talk. So I started to get very interested in the business of television because we were on one side of it. And I just started to wonder, what does it take to get into that business? So I always sought out mentors and people who were in, financial industries, television business, or whatever, from the time I landed at Texas, because I knew, since I wasn't a guy, I probably wasn't going to play for 30 years professionally. Wow. The prospects of what you do after you leave college are so different for women then than they are now. But the reality is that women have to think a different way than men do. And so one of the things, in fact, I was talking to this nephew who plays at Oak State last week. He texted me and said, "Hey, Auntie, can I get some blah, fill in the blank?" Y'all know what it is when they start asking for stuff. Can I get some whatever? And I said, what's happening with those texts y'all get every, whenever y'all get it? And I saw them do a little interview on you talking about you had 50 pairs of sneakers. Like, I went into a full-fledged financial lecture. I was like, what we not going to do is be poor when we don't have to be poor. So we're not going to buy 50 pairs of sneakers and then have you texting me talking about you need something for these beats, whatever. So I think we have to take the opportunity to teach our kids as much as possible, as relevantly and frequently as possible, about what it's going to take to survive out there, whether you play professionally or not. So I'm always having those conversations. And, even when I'm speaking in colleges and to administrators, we're always talking about the skills that athletes need to transition to the real world. Whether you're going to be making millions or you're going to be making thousands, you still need the same skills. So those conversations have to be had every opportunity. I gave him the money. Let's just keep it real. I gave him the money. I'd send the little thing, right? but you gonna get my money, you're gonna get my lecture too. So we got a little lecture in there as well about how to be financially responsible.
So if someone comes to you, an athlete, kind of give us an idea how the branding process goes.
So it really starts with what you want to do, right? Mm-hmm. So I get LinkedIn people. I don't know, even if I go speak, or people just kind of randomly reach out to me. They typically say, I'm about to graduate. I don't know what I'm going to do, right? And everybody has that anxiety, unless you got family money and you're going to take over the family business, or you're going to be a professional athlete. I would say 80% of the kids in college, student athletes in college, don't know what the heck they're going to do when they leave there. So I always, ask them about kind of a skills analysis or skills assessment. What is it that you're already good at? Right? What is it that you're good at? I didn't ask you what you went to school for, because I know all of us could talk about people who went to school for something that didn't actually turn those into careers. So I usually ask them what they're good at. What are you good at? What are you passionate about? What expertise do you have? It's a question that most student athletes don't ever think about, because they get in a major, and then they think, okay, if I'm in this major, this is what I'm going to do when I leave. So I tend to have more conversations about skills assessment. What are you good at? What's your genius? What are those hidden talents that nobody knows that you have? And then what is it that you would like to do? Where do you see yourself after you finish playing football or playing basketball or golf or whatever it is that you do? Again, most of them have never thought about that, and it terrifies them. The next thing I do is say, okay, so now that you've identified what kind of things that you're interested in or that you have strengths in, now it's time to find a mentor in that area, right? So if you're interested in finances, you're interested in television, which is what I get a lot of people talking to me about. I go, now it's time to find a mentor in that area, so you can know the reallys about what it takes to succeed in that area. And that's it. So go. I actually interned at every station in Austin. So freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, wow. I was an intern at every single station. Wasn't getting paid, wasn't just learning the business, because that's what I thought I wanted to do. Left college, went right into it. And it was all about those relationships that I built in those mentorships and those internships.
So do you think the reason why they don't know what they want to do after football or professional sport is because somewhere in their mind, I like to have the 1% conversation, because that 1% is really something that we have to have. Like, everybody's not going to make it professional. So you're dealing with kids out of high school going into college. So somewhere in their mind, they don't think, okay, let me have a backup plan because I'm going to make the 1%. Do you have those kind of conversations with them, that what if you do not make the 1%?
Right. And for me, it's not even, they'll say, okay, you're talking about a backup plan. I'll say, it's not even really a backup plan. It's like a plan. So there is the thing that happens, your ideal situation, and then there's if something else happens, right? And we have those conversations a lot. And those conversations typically go like, yeah, but that's not really gonna be me. It's not gonna be me, Miss Fran. That's not gonna be. And I'm like, okay, but let's just say it is. Let's just say it is you. Let's say you don't make it to the NFL, you don't make it to the NBA. Let's plan for that and think about this. Even if you make it to the NBA or the golf or baseball or whatever, even if you do make it, how much more confident and comfortable are you going to be knowing that you also have a plan in place should something happen? So you got these millions and you have this business that you can build, which is the other thing that I talk to people about. We've been, meaning Black folks, we've been conditioned to think for so long that we get an education, we go work for somebody else, we work till we can't work no more, and then we retire and they're going to take good care of us. And it doesn't work that way for us. So I tend to encourage, especially African-American student athletes, to think about what kind of company they would start if they could start a company, because I want them to think that way. I do not want them to think, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to beg people to hire me, and then I'm going to be at the whims of people who hire me. Don't think like you're going to be an employee. Think like you're going to be the person who's going to be employing people.
I think that's good. I like that. I'm gonna come visit you. Where are you at? I'm coming to see you myself.
Entrepreneurship.
I got 5 of them.
Yes,
No,
entrepreneurship.
That's right.
Yes.
That's real
Yes.
entrepreneurship.
I like the fact that you're giving athletes another options.
That's right.
They've been playing sports most of their lives, ever since they were 5 years old, and they can imagine themselves doing it without it. And you could say, okay, everything you learned, let's move it over here and create this business, and you still can do what you love to do. It's just in a different form.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. When I was at Texas, when I was a sophomore, I would have companies, because the people who were watching us play, they were professionals, right? One of my mentors was a New York Life financial services person. One of my other mentors was a professor. Like, I had all these great people, Barbara Jordan, Ann Richards, all these people around me. And I remember someone at a game asking me to come and speak to their executive team at Dell about team building, about leadership and culture. And I was 19 years old. And so at the time, you could not get paid to do that, right? So I had to go and do it for free. So I remember doing basically a seminar with these CEOs about team building and leadership and culture. And after it was over, I said to the person who invited me, the VP who invited me, I said, I know I can't get paid for this, what I just did, but if I could have gotten paid, how much would you guys have paid me for this? And he said, $10,000. And I said, whoa, yeah. So immediately, exactly what Karen just said, I learned in that moment that what I learned, my experiences, that they were valuable, that they translated outside of sports. So here I was playing basketball, learning all these valuable business tools, business skills, speaking to CEOs at 19 years old. And if they could have paid me, it would have been about $10,000. And the guy said, and the people we pay that are not nearly as good as you are. So then I'm thinking, okay, if you do nothing else, this is for all the athletes who will be listening to this in replay, and moms and whoever, if you do nothing else, there are people who right now need to hear your expertise, need to hear your experiences, and will pay you a lot of money to share those experiences and expertise with you. So I'm always telling athletes, because I get this a lot, they go, what are the 3 most important skills that you learned as an athlete, or that you think we should take away from our athletic experiences? I said, the ability to talk, the ability to speak, the ability to write, and the ability to negotiate. Okay. And here's the reason I say those 3 things. We know that there are people who can, if they can just speak and put 2 words together, people are paying them. Think about our ministers, our preachers, or whatever. Like they get paid a whole lot of money just to deliver a message. It's the same thing with us. So learn how to speak, because people will judge you and people will make a decision about who you are, right or wrong, by the way you communicate.
That's
so
right.
if you do nothing else, learn how to put two sentences together. Learn how to move in circles, right? Like I don't talk the same way in every circle that I'm in, but I know how to communicate in every circle that I need to be in. So learn how to speak, learn how to write. And I tell people learn how to write, because sometimes your first interaction with people will be an email, right? You're trying to network with people on LinkedIn. You're trying to network with people you want to be sponsors for your event. That first piece of content is going to be an email. Might be an email, might be a letter. Learn how to put some sentences together. And then the third one is negotiating. So a lot of times what I deal with student athletes is they get mad at their academic people, they get mad at their coaches, and they feel like slaves. And when I tell them, I go, why are you so mad right now? Like, just learn how to negotiate. If you don't like what this is, go to your academic person and say, I've thought about it. I really don't want to major in history. And here's why. I've done the research. I've looked at what my skills are. Like, that's a business skill. If you learn how to negotiate, go to your coach and go, Coach, okay, so I recognize that I've been on the bench for a while. Let's talk about what I can do to get in the starting line. Let's talk about what I can do to contribute more to my team. Those are negotiation skills. And you feel powerful. You feel more confident. And I teach this to 17, 18, 19-year-olds so that they don't feel like they're dumb jocks. Let's be blunt here. So that they don't feel like they don't know, that they're just sitting there having people just lecture to them all the time. I go, no, go in there, do your research, get your presentation together and negotiate. Everything is negotiable. Now, of course, your kid's going to be trying to do that with y'all. So don't tell them I sent them. Don't tell them I sent them to try to negotiate with stuff.
Mine ain't listening. Mine ain't listening. So, but no, you're right about that. Negotiation is very important, because if you learn that, then when it's time for at a professional level, dealing with an agent, I've seen that. Dealing with your agent, you need to know how to negotiate. You do need to know how to speak and write and the education part of it, because when you get to a professional level, that's a whole nother ball game. You need to know your rights as an athlete. And I told my son, you need to know the ins and outs. You need to know the job of an agent. You need to know politically what's going on, because it's people look at, my son is in the NFL. So people look at, NFL money. No, he didn't go in the draft. He was as a free agent. So I've learned so much, and I've learned the political side of it. I've learned it's a numbers game. You need to know your rights, the ins and out of it. Even dealing with, we had to switch an agent, even dealing with switching an agent, negotiating, speaking up. This is what I need. This is what I can do. This is what I can't do. And so you're right. It's very important, because especially as African American and a parent, when you think your kid is going to the pro, people see dollar signs. You have a kid who goes from having $200 in his bank account to all of a sudden, especially if he goes first round draft, to 20 million. And he has no way of understanding budgeting and understanding investment. So you just put $20 million in a 20-year-old pocket with no
education,
no education on it. And that is a setup for a major disaster. Not only that, but then the parent, it is not being funny. We have to be realistic, right? So then if you have a parent who doesn't even understand that, then you've got a family who's just leeching and just out, like you said, buying Nikes, got a closet full of Nikes, got a Benz and a Lex in the driveway. And then the crazy thing about it is, if your son get released, you just went out and bought a $2.5 million house. You just went out and bought 4 or 5 cars. And your son got released. He didn't even make the 53-man roster. What are you going to do? Because there was no education. There was no teaching. So what you're doing is actually important. It's needed, along with character building.
Yeah. I mean, even with the parents of people who get the money, right? I'm actually mentoring a couple parents right now whose sons play in the NBA. One of them plays in the NBA, one of them plays in the NFL. And they're so afraid to move. They're like, I don't know who I can trust. I don't know. We want to get involved in this. We want to get involved in this. But how do we do this? How do we, you know, and then they end up, sometimes it's very frustrating to try to help and mentor them because they get paralyzed by their fear. So I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. All right. So this is if you want to buy this land, this is what this is what it's going to be. And they're like, they're so used to people just talking. Like one guy told me, I'm so used to people just talking and not doing that you scared me because you were like, okay, if we're going to buy this land, we're going to, you know, invest in this, blah, 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 in North Carolina, then we gotta do this. And he says, and you came back with the plan. And I was just like, hey, I mean, I'm not used to this. He's like, I'm used to talking shit with people and just, you know, listening and talking, everybody promising what they're going to do. And he says, and now it's time to actually do something. And I'm afraid. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I don't want to blow my son's money. So there's a full spectrum of education needed, not just to the one who's earning the money, who's, you know, got to do the taxes on the money, but everybody involved. And as you said, when people think you have a little money or a lot of money, your life changes just by your thought, just the thought that they think you have this or whatever. So I love this topic because I like seeing us be more informed, more educated, more empowered around our finances. So I love these conversations. Love having these conversations even with our young athletes.
Yeah, it's something that's needed. You know, I look at the contract. That contract in itself it's kind of like it's good to see it, but it's also dangerous, right? Because you can literally take that contract up to a dealership. You could take it to purchase a home, and all they need to see is 6 figures, right? You may not even have them 6 figures in your bank account at all. I've seen it happen, but just the fact that the contract said NFL, the 6 figures on there. Okay, you ain't even made the 53-man roster. They just showed it's called a promise, what you will make over the next 2 years. They don't read the fine print. Just as a promise. You don't have that in your bank account, but you can literally take that contract. All you got to do is show it.
Yep.
You get anything you want. And that is so dangerous.
Yep.
And it in the hands of a wrong person, it's because all you got to do is show it. It's just like, here's a contract. And I mean, they will, all they see is NFL, 6 figures. What do you want?
Yep.
So go ahead.
So this is so powerful. I almost see this as we need to start teaching our kids like in high school or junior high to educate them on this so they will learn this going forward. You know, I mean, my mind is blown right now.
Well, we don't talk about a lot of things in the African American community, but since we're talking about money, we don't talk about money in healthy ways, and we can have all these very negative experiences with money. And if somebody loans you money or you borrow money or whatever, and for me, I wanted to change that in my family. So very early with my nieces and nephews, we were doing budgets and cash flow sheets and all different kinds of things because it's a planting of seeds. Like we didn't need to have a full-on financial seminar to just plant seeds about integrity and honesty. And if you borrow money, then I just had to have this conversation the other day with a relative. And I said, in what land do you live in that you get to borrow $20,000 and then not pay it back? Like a bank is not going to give you $20,000 without coming for you. They're going to come for your car and your mama's car and they're coming for you. So just because we're family, let's not act like this isn't a business transaction. And that's the one thing that I think we have to get through to our family members is, yes, I want to support you. Yes, I want to help you. But we gotta build up a good business relationship. Like,
that's right.
I don't know you like that. Like, I know you from the family reunion, but just as you have to build up your credit with Capital One or American Express, we also have to develop a foundation for our financial relationship. There's the blood relationship, and then there's a financial relationship. So I do contracts, agreements, gets on people's nerves. I'm like, this is how we do business. This is how you're going to do business with me. If this does not feel right for you, if it doesn't feel good for you, I get it. But I'm not going to just give you money. We're going to have an agreement. We're going to have terms. We're going to have interest. We're going to do all of that. And it's changed my family's life. It really has. Kicking and screaming, mad, talking about it, don't like it, but it's changed the way we think. And that's all I needed. Like, there was too much money exchanging hands just because, we family and that kind of stuff. I'm like, no, that's not how you do business. You wouldn't do that with Bank of America. You wouldn't do that with Chase.
Come on now. That's true. You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. They are coming for you. So let's do this right. Let's do it right. You trust me, you will feel better when you do it right. And you'll know how to do stuff. You'll know how to do it when you go to Chase.
And I agree with you, because even my son, we're on a contract. And even though he's in an NFL, I manage him. And so he was kind of shocked. He's like, Mom, we're on a contract? Yes, sir. I manage you, but we're on a contract. This is the percentage that I will get. This is how it goes. Because like you said, you're going to hire somebody else, you're going to put them on a contract. Just because I'm mom, it's like no favoritism. And at the same time, I need you to know I'm not here to ride off of you. That's, when my kids were young and they decided they wanted to play sports, then I wanted to be that parent that started a company. So I started Evolve Sports for them, and a clothing line, and we go out and we speak. And I wanted to build something for them. But at the same time, we're on contracts. So, when my second oldest decided he wanted to play baseball and try to go out for professional, he wants me to manage him. We're on a contract. My daughter wants to play professional basketball. We're going to be on a contract, because I'm teaching you something. Yes, I'm mom, but when I'm in business mode, I'm manager. I'm no longer mom, and I need you to respect me as manager. So I have to put you on a contract. So when we go out, actually, he'll tell people, he won't introduce me as mom. He'll say, this is my manager. There's a level of respect, because he knows I'm on a contract with her. So I got to get it right. You break that contract, we're going to have a conversation.
And we got to fire people too. Like, I fired people in my family. Last year I was inducted into the DISD Hall of Fame. And so I had a little after party, and afterwards my sister was hosting the party, and she said, stand up if you've ever worked in one of Fran's companies. So it's like people stood up, and she said, now stand up if you've ever been fired by Fran Harris. And so everybody was like, yep. Like, you getting fired. If you don't deliver. And that's the way it should be. Like, and if I'm not delivering, you should say, you know what, let's have a conversation. But again, what we're all talking about and doing in our respective families is changing the legacies financially for our families. I can't tell you how many people I know who have lost land that their family had owned forever, real estate that they couldn't keep because they couldn't come up with the taxes for the land. They couldn't come up with, out of 12 children, they couldn't come up with $2,300. You know what I mean? Like, for me, that hurts my heart, because land is wealth. And so we need to make sure that we've had enough stuff taken from us. We know that everybody looking at me right now has had somebody in their family from 100 years ago have land totally just stolen from them. So when we have the opportunity to have a wealth, building opportunity with land or other assets, we got to make sure that we keep those in our families. We got to make sure that we build that kind of financial legacy going forward.
So with that, you also have a business, a drink coming out.
Yes.
So we're pretty excited to hear about it and the next process and everything that you have going on. 2020, I call 2020 is 2020 clear vision. I look at it as it's clarity. Tell us a little bit about what you have going on in 2020.
Here are the formulations for my three flavors of functional beverages that are coming out. I won't reveal any of that, but we're launching at the Women's Basketball Final Four on April 4th, 2020 in New Orleans. So if you guys are around, definitely come. And we're launching in a cool way. So I'm producing a documentary called A League of Our Own. It's about the three most successful women's pro hoops leagues, professional basketball leagues. So it's the WBL, which was, I think they played from 1978 to 1981. And then there was the ABL. A lot of people don't know about the ABL. It was started the year before the WNBA. Great league. All the best basketball players are playing in that league. It only lasted 2.5 years. And then the WNBA. So producing and directing that. And my drink is called Electra. It will be it'll be the presenting sponsor for the documentary. So we're launching on that day. And I'm very excited about it, because when you think about, I bet you guys could think of probably 5 or 10 businesses that you have thought about starting and then just didn't do it, just didn't do it for whatever reason. And one day I was working out maybe about a year and a half ago, and I was drinking a very famous sports drink, and because I was thirsty, but it really wasn't that tasty. So I turned it around and I was like, let me see what's in this. And then I saw all these ingredients and it was just crap. It was nothing even in it good for me. It was just kind of maybe the potassium and the sodium. But other than that, it was a bunch of other colors and stuff that I didn't know anything about. So I just said, I'm going to do it. So I hired a consultant who had taken a company from 0 to 70 million in beverages in 5 years. And I met her through another friend of mine. And so I hired her and I said, I want to hire you for like 90 days because I want to brainstorm and learn everything I can learn about this business. And at the end of this 90 days, I'm going to take a break. And if I decide I'm going to do it, then I will ask you to get involved with my company, maybe be an advisor or whatever. So that's what we did. This spring, I hired her and then just learned all about the business and learned all about the opportunities specifically in the category that I wanted to go in, which was sports drinks. And then 90 days, I called her, I said, good, paid her money. And then I was like, I'm going to take about 2 weeks off and just kind of sit with whether this is really what I want to do because it's going to take a lot of my life. And got about 2 or 3 weeks later, text her and I was like, let's talk on Monday. I'm going to do it. And that was May. Wow. And I just got back from Los Angeles this past week at the biggest beverage conference in the world. It's called BevNet. And just learned so much, took one of my investors with me. Came back and I was like, this is crazy because it's been like so fast. And now I already had the deadline for April. I knew when I had to have the film done, I was going to premiere the film at the Women's Final Four. So I was like, this would be perfect for the actual drink to be the presenting sponsor. So that's where we are. We're going to start direct to consumer. I already have I have a distributor who's interested. I want everybody to hear this. Just because people are interested doesn't mean you need to do it. Like a lot of time, you just need to slow it down and figure out the right path that you need to take. So I already have people who are interested, retailers who are interested, right? Because this brand makes sense for me. I'm an athlete. It makes sense for me. So the velocity that's happening right now is out of this world. But I'm saying a lot of no's. I'm saying a lot of not right now because I want to make sure we do this the right way. And I want to make sure that I'm setting myself up to be successful. Sometimes we get so enamored by the attention that we get about ideas that we think we got to say yes to stuff. I'm saying a lot of no's. Not ready right now. Not ready for that. Not ready for that. Like I know what this company is going to be if it's done right, and it'll happen. And so coming out of the gate, I want to make sure that we are positioned for massive success. And in order to do that, I need to learn a little bit more about the beverage industry. I need to meet a lot more people. I got investors throwing money at me and I'm saying, nope, not taking your money because we know all money ain't good money. Not taking your money. I will talk to you later about your money. You know what I mean? But the cool thing I have to say about that is my first investor is my cousin. And I love, first of all, this is a cousin. So, most of you have cousins that you grew up with. Like, this is my boy. We grew up, our mothers were best friends. We went to the fair together. Like, that's who this dude is. So when he said, I'd like to invest, I said, really? And he said, yeah, I would. So he went to LA with me and it was so cool because I had other people offering me money. And I told him no, because I didn't really want to be in business with them. And then when my cousin offered it, I was like, so glad it was you. You know what I mean? Sometimes you are just so glad to be in business with certain people. And my cousin and I are really good friends. So I was like, I told him when we were in LA, I was like, you know what? I'm glad you were my first investor. I'm glad you were my first investor and that it wasn't, it wasn't somebody else, because it could have been a lot of other people who don't hold that special place in my heart. And who are not Black and who are not family. And so I'm very excited about that. But yeah, here are the three SKUs. Those are my final formulations. Tomorrow I speak with my formulator and she's actually going to do the formulation for a commercial, commercialize the formulation. And then we go to designing and bottling in January.
Well, congratulations. I know 2020 is going to be busy for you. It's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
It's good busyness. So I'm excited. Listen, tell us how to get in touch with you, those who may want to talk to you about marketing and just investments and different opportunities.
Sure. One thing I will do, invite your audience to, I don't know if Karen told you, so I'm actually building a sports facility in Forney. We're scheduled to break ground next year. So if you are interested in strategic partnership, advertisement, even investing, I do have a little bit of cap table space left if you want to be an investor in our facility. It's half sports facility, half fitness facility. So it's like an LA Fitness plus like a field house. So we're looking for a couple of more folks to get involved with that on some level. So if you're interested in that, you can just come to go to franharris.com, which is where you can learn everything about me. But you can also email us at support@franharris.com. So support@franharris.com will get you connected with someone, whether it's involved with the beverage company or the sports facility, or just life and trying to succeed in the sports world.
You guys hear that? franharris.com. I tell you what, she's doing big things. This is great. This is great. Pretty excited about it. I don't know about you guys, Kawasaka and Karen. You guys was quiet. Was you over there taking notes? You have me doing all the questioning, and I just need to know was y'all. Make sure you took a lot of notes, right?
I'm just mesmerized. She has
we learn
everything going on.
Listen, we are learning. We are learning. We are still sports moms. Do you hear me? So I'm sitting here taking everything in. I got a boy that's
Yeah, it was good. It was a good conversation. It's something that's we need another one. It's not, a part two. Seriously, because you have to, like I said, with the financial part in African Americans, that is the biggest right there. If we can master that, listen, if we can truly master that, we would be dominating.
Yep.
Literally.
No question.
I mean, there's business, there's ideas, but it's just the problem is there's no education or understanding financially, because like you said, you can go on and on. I mean, don't have me bring this segment back up, this topic, because I can go there. I've seen some stuff and I'm just like, wow. So, but we want to thank you, Miss Fran, for being a guest. This was really good. I'm excited. Your gym is going to be awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So
appreciate you.
All right. So listen, Miss Karen.
Yes.
All right. So tell everybody how they can get in contact with us on Can We Talk Sports?
Hey, you guys, let me find my camera. Oh, there I am right there. This new, we super moms in as far as cooking and cleaning and stuff.
Right.
But now we got to be super moms on this internet. On technology.
Technology, yeah.
Yes. So Can We Talk Sport? We can be seen on Twitter. We can be seen on Periscope. We're working on our lives being on LinkedIn. We have an Instagram page, and we even have our website up. So you can find us almost anywhere. And you guys, we need you to stay tuned. We need you to share. We have some great things that are coming up that you can be a part of. We got Mommy Chatter coming, where moms can come on.
That's going to be good. That's going to be good.
That's going to be good. Other moms can come on and chat with us. Tell us your story. I want to hear your story, because I believe there is power in sharing your story so it can help someone else. So I'm just excited. I'm excited for what we're doing, the platform that we're offering for moms, for you to share your story, to hear your story on how you raised up your student athlete.
So listen, if you guys have a story, please leave a comment, message us, tell us about your story, what you've been through, even if you have questions on recruiting and just the process of athletes, the mental, the financial. Please let us know. Hit us up. We'd love to talk to you. We'd love to have you as a guest. We'd love to answer your questions on a live show, because I'm telling you, it's just more than just playing the sports. There's a lot of behind scene things that you guys have no idea that goes on. And so we want to share and help. I mean, I can tell you some stuff, especially after this weekend, what I went through. I can tell you a story. Listen, mine is on the dating side. We won't get into that subject right now about the women and the athletes. Yeah, we're gonna leave that right there. So anyway, but yeah, just hit us up, leave us a comment, and we are excited. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9. And Miss Katrina, she's gonna be the lead host on this one. Cause see, I'm gonna sit back like Kawasaka and Karen. I'm gonna be taking notes. I'm gonna put my mic on mute. And I'm gonna be right now. Let me stop playing with y'all. So, but anyway, we was gonna have, is Big Mama here? Is she?
Big Mama is still traveling.
Okay,
So
so
she'll be
man,
here next
listen.
week.
Next week, you gotta tune in. Big Mama gonna bring it. She gonna make us laugh. We're gonna be on the flow because everybody know she brings it, but she's real. So we're excited to have her next week. So anyway, enjoy your night. Congratulations to you Cowboys for winning. Kawasaka.
Woo!
Give them a shout.
Hey.
So what did it say? We them boys. So yeah. So
Yeah.
congratulations to the Cowboys and
Yes,
everyone.
ma'am.
Have a great night and thank you for tuning in to
Yeah.
Can We
Thank
Talk Sports.
you.
See you guys later. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
All right.